It's really hard to stay motivated with any project that or skill that takes a while to cultivate and get better at. So I have a few things that I want to talk about when it comes to creating. How do we stay motivated when we're drawing or painting? The first, and I think the most important thing, I'll probably get pushed back on it, is to just start. Just starting is very important. And I want to kind of like elaborate on that a little bit. Make anything. Make some sort of version of what you want to make. Like for me, I'm doing daily videos and I'm attempting to make a video every day of the month. And it's really hard to get the motivation for me to want to keep making them. What I did today is I was like, okay, I don't really know what to talk about, which is what gave me this idea for this whole video to begin with. Is what I did is I just turned on the camera. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk for 10 minutes. And what I say is going to be the video, and that's how it's going to come out. And as I was doing it, which is funny, I came up with ideas and I figured out what I wanted to talk about. Just because I made a crappy version of what I'm doing now, and it got me excited to want to make a video. It made me want to actually make this video and sit down and do it. And that caused me to be motivated after I started. And sometimes just starting like 2 minutes isn't always enough. So you got to do a little bit. You got to do a little more than just starting. You got to do what is something I'm willing to do. Maybe you're not willing to do an hour of something. Maybe a half hour. Maybe not even that. You can do 10 minutes. You could do 5 minutes of something. I think 5 minutes is really enough to get you going and getting a version of something. If it's a drawing or a painting, and you just do even a little bit of it. I think even you want to do a little bit more than just a little bit. But for my drawing today, it was similar. I didn't really know what portrait I wanted to draw or if I wanted to draw a portrait. So I just started doodling. I drew a couple trees, drew a couple of heads, rotated them a little bit. Started drawing another sketch, which you probably already seen already, of a portrait with like a tree growing out of it. I didn't use a reference for it, so it was kind of a little bit sloppy and a little bit cartoony looking too, which can be good. And then I did that. I'm like, okay, this is all right. I think I could do something better. And I decided to go ahead and do a portrait study and count that as my drawing for the day. I could have counted the other one, but I decided I wanted to do something better because I made something already. And it's like, okay, I can do better. Being able to find things that you already have started and then finding ways to improve it or make a new version of it to make it better is really helpful. And something that I find really helpful is to take a break when things are going good. Have you ever been doing something and you're just having a great time and eventually it ends and you're kind of bummed because it's like, oh, the game I was playing is over. The party I was at was over and I was having a great time, but the host had to kick everybody out because it was just too much. Or they had to do something. Or how about this example? You're hanging out with a friend and you're having a great time and you're chatting with each other and you just want to hang out with them all day. And at some point they have to leave. And sometimes usually when they leave and you're having a good time, you think about, when's the next time we're going to do this? This was fun. Let's do this again. Or at least you may not say that out loud, but you'll think it. But if you're having a bad time with people and you just want it to end, and it ends on a bad note, and things don't go well, and you're having a terrible time, you're really unlikely to want to return to that thing. When it comes to drawing or painting or making art, it's good to leave on a good note. Say you had a really good, you did a really good study. Stop right there before you try and work on it more and come back to it later. But as soon as you leave and you're having a good time, you're going to kind of crave it to come back and work on it more. Just like if you're playing a video game and you're having a lot of fun with it, but you have to set it down because you have stuff to do for the day. Or you're playing on the week, only play it on the weekends, and you have all your work on the weekdays. I appreciated video games a lot more when I had limited time on them, because I only could play them so much and they were fun. So when I had more free time for myself, they weren't as fun to me. I know that's a rambly tangent of that. But taking breaks from things while it's good makes you want to come back and do more. If you take a break from things when things are going bad, sometimes you just can't avoid it and you have to be done and go do something else. But if you can, there's one thing you can do, or at least attempt to, is to draw something that you know you can draw. Like, can you draw a cube or a box? Maybe you can't draw a box. Can you draw a stick figure? Draw something that you can say, yeah, I know I can do this, and just leave it at that. I think it would be kind of fun to draw little stick figures. After every drawing that I do, maybe I should get a sticky notepad and do that. That would be kind of funny to work on. I have 2 more things that I want to talk about. The next one is have small wins. Just like having the small drawing at the end of your session that you know you can do if it's not going well. And sometimes you can get more satisfaction out of doing a bunch of small things to just kind of make it easy to come back and do it. Have easy wins. Something simple to keep you showing up. I don't know, like what would be a good example of this? Like maybe a warm-up or something. Some people do warm-ups. I do warm-ups sometimes when I don't know what to draw. Maybe you go watch a tutorial on something and you try to do something like that again. Like maybe you're learning about like shape manipulation or something, and you figure out, oh, you can slice corners off other shapes and kind of carve out different things. Or you just get out your sketchbook and fill up a page with whatever. You can be happy that you filled up a page in your sketchbook, which is kind of cool. Like an example that I did like yesterday, I just felt like I needed to draw, but I didn't know what. So I'm just going to practice some exercises where I just drew some spheres, or I just drew a bunch of like circles. I wrote letters. I did block letters, extruded it some out. Just drew a bunch of tiny little cubes. Drew a bunch of cylinders. It wasn't complicated, but it was still satisfying to put it on the paper and create something. And my last thing that I think will help, my final point that I have to say for staying motivated and keeping the momentum with your work, is to make stuff just for you. Basically, all the stuff I've been doing lately, I've been sharing on here, and I've been sharing on some socials too. Other social medias like Instagram. And I haven't really had time to create stuff for myself, and it is making it a little harder for me. Do you want to keep going? But on the contrary, setting a goal or a challenge for myself to do it every day is pretty good. Usually, every year, I usually just do it for myself, and then I talk about it later. Sometimes you can make stuff for yourself and show it later. But at the end of the day, if all you're doing is just making art for other people to look at it, and you don't get the attention that you think it deserves, or people don't like it as much, it can be really demotivating for you to not want to keep drawing. But if you have stuff that you just keep to yourself and nobody else sees, you don't have to worry about any judgments or anything. It's just you created it. If it's awesome, it's awesome. If not, it can be garbage too. But if you spent the time making something just for you and not worrying about letting other people see it, you're spending the time just working on stuff because you want to work on stuff, not because you want to get the validation and the credit and the likes and the views. You just created something. There are a few things that you can do to stay motivated. And I hope these were helpful. I know this video was a little bit more rambly than normal, and I'm hoping to get better at them. But if you found something useful out of this, leave a like or a comment. And if you want to see more of my face and more of me talking, subscribe. And until next time, Dartagon out.